Fairfax Homestead, y'all. Well, I finally made it over to the bread shed. I've been over here periodically throughout the season, but I haven't really been over here to do a lot of work. I've done a few orders and stuff, but I really haven't done a whole lot over here, to be honest with you. I've just kind of stuck around the house. But today I am going to get some corn out of the freezer because Tim kind of keeps up with me on that with the freezer situations and tells me, hey, we need to move this out. We need to make room for this, whatever. So he's like, Chris, we haven't ate much corn on the cob this year because we grew corn in the garden last year. And he's like, you better do something with that because we're going to need the space. So I'm going to can it. That's all I know to do with it. And it'll be nice to have it on the pantry shelf for us to eat. I can just open up a can of corn, when we have dinner or lunch or whatever. And that's what I'm going to do. And there's a lot of it, and I'm going to get busy here in a minute. But I actually just was going to talk to you today because I'm still going to do this video of doing this corn and canning it. But you all know I'm not real good at multitasking anymore. So it's hard for me to like talk and be serious and still cook and do all this other stuff. Pressure can, whatever I'm gonna do. So I thought, well, I'll just sit down and talk to y'all for a little bit. I don't do that a whole lot because I'm just so busy. And there's just so much going on in the world that, y'all hear it all. But there is a lot going on right now. And I just thought, well, I'll run over some stuff with you that I have run over with you before. But it's pretty important, I think. It's important to stay on top of it, in other words. Before I do that, I just want to say that if I tell you everything I'm fixing to talk to you about, and I don't tell you the most important thing, then what I'm fixing to talk to you about is not even going to matter. So I'm going to run over that first. And God's given me the opportunity to, and He's entrusted me with His Word and with His gospel, and He's given me the opportunity to give it to you. And I know I do this periodically, but there are new people that come on the channel, and it's not me that's trying to save people. It's God's word that saves people, and it's the gospel. And you might be asking, Chris, what's He saving them from? Well, He's saving them from any of us, from His wrath that is to come. And I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom. I'm just giving you the truth. I'm giving you the truth with love because I love you. And if I didn't love you, I wouldn't tell you, right? I wouldn't say a word to you about it. I'd just be like, I ain't going there. I don't want to, But as a believer in Christ and a follower of Christ, that's what we do. And we know that God still has us here on this planet for that very reason. It's not to make bread or to homestead or to do all that's just benefits, extra, benefits or extra, just things that we like to do and everything. God's blessed us with that. But that's not our purpose. That's not our purpose for being here. So our purpose is to give the truth, and so that others, and give the gospel so that others would be saved too and spend eternity in heaven. Now, we like to think that everyone's going to heaven, but the Bible does not teach that. It does not say that. As a matter of fact, Jesus talks more about hell than He did heaven in the Bible. And, a warning that, if you don't believe and you don't pick up your cross and walk with Him, you're not worthy of Him. And the only way to God and to heaven is through Christ, through Jesus Christ and what He did on the cross, okay? He died, He was buried, and then He rose again 3 days later, and He's waiting at the right-hand side of the Father to come and get His church. Not a building, not a denomination, but His true born-again, believing people, His elect, okay? So, I just wanted to give you the gospel, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and that his death was sufficient for all, but not all will be saved because not all will believe. Okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to go on to what I wanted, other thing I wanted to talk to you about. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Why are eggs so high? Bird flu. I don't know. That's what they're claiming. So, I guess what I wanted to talk to you about is a couple different things. I've talked to you about prepping and not hoarding, not, being nervous and anxious and scared. And no. Leave all that behind. Okay? You don't need none of that. Push that to the side, kids. You don't want to be uptight, nervous, and scared or anything, but you want to be prepared for what could come. Only one that knows what's coming is God Himself. None of the rest of us do. But if we can see, we can be them watchmen, and we can see what's going on. We need to know what's going on in the world, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian. And I don't like to use the word Christian because this country, this world uses it so loosely. But if you're a believer, well, that's what me and Tim like believer better, because, and I'm not saying that you can be born again just by believing. God has to do that supernatural work in you and change your heart. Okay? It's nothing you do. It's not a works-based salvation. It is a free gift of God, but God initiates it and God finishes it. Okay? So it has nothing to do with us. But anyway, we are to know what's going on and everything. So this egg thing, no, I'm not drinking coffee, y'all. I'm not a coffee drinker. Tim is. I'm not. I do hot tea or any kind of tea. I just like tea. But whether or not you live, we're just gonna cut to the chase here because I don't want this video to be 10 hours long. You'll be like, Chris, I couldn't get through it. But whether or not you live in the city or you live in the county, okay? You live in the city limits, call your city administrator, call your city hall or whoever is in control of your city, and ask them, am I allowed to have some chickens? I want some chickens. Can I do that? A lot of towns are letting people do that. They're letting their residents do that. And they go by how many chickens you get of how many people's in your home. Okay. So, and I know some different towns in a city they let you do that. They do not let you have a rooster. Why? Because they crow early in the morning. They'll wake everybody up. But it's okay because your rooster doesn't produce eggs. Okay. The rooster is just to make the eggs fertile so you can have more chickens. So you don't really need a rooster. You just need those hens to lay your eggs so you have eggs to eat. Do your research on taking care of chickens and what all it entails and involves, okay? And that's not what this video is about, but do that before you go and get chickens, okay? Because it might be something that you don't want to do. You'd rather pay $10 a dozen for them. I don't know. But Tim has built different things. He's got a tractor that he can move, and we put chickens in there. We've even put turkeys in there. We've got another little house that we bought. We got a chicken run that we've stored chickens in and let them live in there till we can move them to the chicken house because we have a bigger chicken house for them, But you don't have to have all that. You can just have something small. Now, I don't know if the city will let you free range them. I don't know, because that might be a whole nother story because they're going to be in going to other people's yards and stuff. So I doubt it. You're probably going to have to keep them pinned up, but make them a little run or something. I bought one off Amazon. And it's a good one. I paid $100 for it, but it's long. It's probably as long as this table or longer. And so they can get out and, they can, And then we've got a little box in there that they can go in and keep warm or nest or whatever they're going to do. But you might be thinking, well, this isn't going to last forever. Well, for some reason, they're really down on chickens, and they have been for a while. And I don't know. I don't know. But I know that just the little time that, and I say little time, probably 14 years that we've been doing chickens or raising them, when we're out and I need them, which isn't very often because I dehydrate them and I freeze them, and I used to water glass them, but I did that once and that did not work out well for me. So that's not an option for me. It could be for you. I didn't like it. But there's other options of, like, through their heavy times through the summer, then you store them up, and you dehydrate them or you freeze them. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't know where I was going with that, though. I was going to tell you something before that. But, so if we have to go to the store and buy them, I can tell you one thing for sure, that there is not even a comparison in a store-bought egg and a farm fresh egg. Okay? There's just no comparison. And I literally cannot stand a store-bought egg now. And I guess it's from eating, the country eggs for so long, and that are free ranged, that are, they get out and eat bugs. They get to, move around and get their stuff going inside of them. And, and they're not just sitting in a box laying eggs, and all through the year. And as a matter of fact, we used to put a light on them in the winter to keep them going through the winter. And you can do that. It does work. But it's not healthy for the chicken because they're not made to do that. The less light, that just gives them a break, And then the more light, in the summer, and the more daylight and everything, they produce more. And the warmth and everything. These chickens got to have a break. They can't be 24/7, but they do that. And that's how you get your store eggs. But anyway, all year round. Kind of like your fruit and anything else. Watermelons in December. Come on. I mean, anyway, that's not the way that it's meant to be. That's not the way, it ever was until they started doing all this. But anyway, so the egg thing, that's what I wanted to talk about, because some people are saying like $8 and $9 for a dozen eggs where they live. And I just can't even fathom spending that much for a dozen eggs. But I use a lot of eggs. I use a lot of eggs in my business because I'm a baker. And so I use a lot of eggs. But, see what you can do about that if you don't want to raise them. And this is going to be a hard one for you, but try to find a farmer that sells them and buy them from them. You're probably going to get them cheaper, because as of yet, our feed has not went up. And we only raise our prices on our eggs when our feed goes up, but it hasn't in a while. So, that might be the next thing. It might go up a little bit, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to sell a dozen eggs. If the feed goes up that much, we're not going to be able to have eggs. You know what I'm saying? So, well, yeah, we would, because they would just free range. But I just can't even fathom paying that much, or even charging anyone. I couldn't do it. Charge somebody that much for a dozen eggs. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work to take care of chickens if you've got a bunch of them. We got to us, it's quite a few. Some people's got a lot more than we do. But, because you got to keep them clean, you got to keep them fed, you got to keep them watered, and it's work. But if you're already on the farm, you already got that work anyway, so you do it, right? Okay, we're going to move on past the eggs because I'm taking up too long on the eggs. Now we're going to move to, I started to take you out to the hoop house. We haven't planted anything yet, but we were getting ready to do it. But here where we're at, they are calling for a 20 to 40% chance. I don't know how that's kind of like a little gap there, but a 20 to 40% chance of heavy snow next week. So I'm like, okay, we're going to wait a little bit. I'm not going to do it. We don't have the heat figured out in our hoop house yet. We did put our compost pile, built that beside it, and we have a video of that, and explain to you how we tunneled underneath of it with big pipe and going up into to create heat. The compost pile would create heat, put it up in there. Okay, so we're not here enough to keep that compost pile fed and hot, and okay, it just can't work right now for us. So hopefully in the near future, Lord willing, and we're still here, we'll get that done. We'll get that taken care of. But for now, we don't have any heat in there. Now, we did use a few heat lamps last year on some stuff, but with the way the electricity is right now, we didn't want to do that because we save our heat lamps. We're getting ready to have another little goat or two or three, and so we got to save that for them, so it is what it is, and you just prioritize what you can do and what you can't do, right? But this year we've already been warned by the president that things are going to get a little tough in our country. You guys, common sense tells me that if you're, and I don't know a whole lot about all this, okay? I just don't. And I'm not going to pretend like I do because I don't. But common sense tells me that if your country is in trillions of dollars in debt, then it's going to take some time and effort. And if it gets done in 4 years, hallelujah, praise God, I'm glad. But I don't see how it could, because it took longer than 4 years to get in that mess. But I guess anything's possible with God, and maybe, I don't know. But still, common sense tells you that even if you, in your household, you go out and you get in debt and spend a lot of money, and it's the American thing, and we're guilty, we're almost out of debt. We're just like this close from being, I'm so excited and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. We've worked hard the last few years to get out of debt. And if you don't listen to anything else I say ever again, please remember that I said you need to get out of debt. Don't be a slave to debt. It is. That's what debt is. It's slavery, and it bounds you and it ties you down, and it is your boss. And if you don't pay it, they will come and take things, or take your home, or take anything, whatever. They're going to get their money back plus a whole lot more. Okay, so stay out of debt. Stay out of debt. And I'm preaching to the choir. I'm preaching to myself, y'all, because that's the thing. You can get out of debt, and it takes a little bit to pull yourself up out of that, and it's a lot of hard work, and you sacrifice things. But the key is to stay out of debt. How are we going to stay out of debt? We've got to stay out of debt. Well, you got to have some money put back, which we've been working on that too. You got to have, something that if something breaks down, you go dip into that cash, and not, as long as we have cash, and not a credit card. Okay. We've got a lot of cards. I'm not kidding. We've got a lot of cards, and I don't mind telling you this because I'm just like anyone else. I'm not perfect. I am human, Tim and I, and we're just like anybody else. And if you can't pay for something all at once, what do? And our credit is really, really super good. So and they tantalize you with it. Like, we went into the store the other day, and they're like, would you like to sign up for so-and-so credit card? And we're like, no. How about no? No. Okay. No. And a lot of our credit cards, even though our credit is where it's at way up in the 800s, and it's like, even though they're still raising the interest rate on these cards, and it's like, and so why would I give you more? I work hard for my money. Tim has worked all his life hard for our money. And I meant our money with my money too. I didn't mean my. I try not to say my because it's Tim and I, and we're one. But we have worked all our lives, and except not me. I haven't worked the whole time we've been married because I stayed home with my children in the beginning, and I've been home here off and on. But I've worked most of our marriage, and it's, you work hard for your money, and I know you all can relate. I know you can relate that, you do. Even if you're a stay-home mom and you are homeschooling your kids, or you're just taking care of your kid, you're being a good steward of your home, and you're cooking and cleaning and you're working. You're working. And working is good, but you work hard, and that's good. But you don't want to go out and give it to creditors that aren't, you're just giving it to them. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you, I didn't even want to go to where I pay stuff online, because I thought, no, that's just, I'm getting old in my ways. No, I'm mailing it in. I'm not doing that. I'm not, and then I got to thinking, well, if my bill doesn't get there, which this happened a few times, and if my bill doesn't get there in time, if I don't mail it a month early, it may not get there in time, then they're going to charge me $15, $25 for a late fee. And that just was just like, driving me insane. And I'm like, I have to do something. I can't keep doing this. I don't like giving people money just because, you didn't do this or you didn't do that, so we're going to take your money. Now, with that being said, you're probably thinking, okay, well, what about, taxes and all that? I'm with you on that. And I hope Trump fixes that. But then again, the Bible says, Jesus said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God what is God's. We have to live by the law of the land. But God never said in the Bible that I had to give creditors more money than what they had coming. I mean, no, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. To pay my taxes, yeah, I'll pay my taxes. I always pay our taxes. But it is what it is, y'all. And so here's where I was going with all that. Make sure. We just got a thing. I was going to put that up here. I was going to put that on here, and I still may. And it'll probably be in this corner right here, and y'all check it out. We had, if I can get it to go on there, we had a local news channel, and it come on and it said that the broccoli, I think, I'm not sure which store. I'm not sure, but I think it was the big chain, but I'm not sure which store. But it was, yeah, I think it was, because I said, I just bought broccoli from there. And they're saying, throw it away. It's deadly. Throw it away. And I'm like, it's like every time you turn around, our food is poisoned. And it's like, what? So now you know why. And listen, you don't have to live in the country. You don't have to live out in the county to have a garden. I've told you all in my previous videos, some of our best gardening was in town. And we had really good dirt in town. We did. And so you can have a garden in town if you got a spot for it. If you don't have a spot for a garden, use flower beds if you got flower beds. If you don't have flower beds, get some totes. And you can also grow spinach and lettuce in the cold, in the winter, in totes. And I've got a video on that. I'll try to link to this at the end of this video. And you can click on it and go watch it. And try to grow your own food. Try to grow your own food. I don't know what the deal is with food here lately and the stores and it coming in and where it's coming from or where it was grew or what. I don't even know. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just know that I told Tim last night, it almost makes me just want to eat our meat off of our farm, eat our vegetables off of our farm, and in the winter, eat the canned vegetables that I can all summer and winter, and just eat out of our garden and just eat what we grow and what we raise and what we harvest. It just makes me want to do that. And you all, it's not that I know that God's going to take me when he's ready to take each and every one of us. Eating better is not going to help you because you'll always hear me say, well, I just want to put in my body so I feel good while I'm here. Okay. I know that when God's ready for me, no matter how good I eat, no matter what I eat, no matter how I exercise, no matter, it doesn't matter. When God calls my name, I'm going. And I get that. But again, I want to feel good while I'm here. Okay. That's just me. I just want to feel good while I'm here. or feel, I don't want to be sick from eating some poison stuff, and I'm hovering over a toilet for a week. I just, I don't want to do that. But, and I know I could get sick from my canned food, maybe. I haven't yet. Thank you, Lord. I haven't yet. And I'm very cautious when I can my stuff, and, I do the best I can do. But, and I know accidents happen and stuff, but it just seems like, am I wrong? Do y'all see that? It just seems like every time you turn around, the news or the internet is saying, this has got salmonella, or this has got listeria, or this has got this, or, throw it away. It's deadly. That was the one yesterday. Throw it away. It's deadly. Well, the stuff they sent out, it was like in December. The food went out in December. So it's been, sold for a while. I don't know. Anyway, and I had just bought some, but it wasn't that broccoli, because I buy the loose broccoli at the. I have Tim and I we struggle with broccoli and cauliflower. We do a little bit better with broccoli, growing it. I mean, we struggle a little bit with growing it. I don't know. Maybe we can do better this year, but we're going to grow some stuff in the hoop house. We're going to try it. I think he's going to try broccoli and cauliflower in the hoop house. And we want to get it going, but with that snow coming, or maybe with the snow coming, who knows? So, anyways, I just thought I would get on here and talk to you about growing your own food, maybe getting some chickens if that's in the plans for you, or at least buying them from a farmer, a local. Get to know your local farmers. If you don't do your own thing, if you live in town or whatever, or even if you live in the country and you don't have a farm and you ain't got time for a farm, get to know your local farmers and your local butchers, and and keep that business in that, try to keep it in there, and and ask them, do you put any pesticides on your stuff? Do you put this or that? When we take some of our stuff to the farmer's market, well, we took not very much, because I can most of my stuff, and then I'll give our family whatever they want. But we took we took some tomatoes, some zucchini, some peppers, and different things up last year. And I had a few people ask me, do you put anything on this? Well, we did put some Sevin Dust on our zucchinis, and I tell them that. I think Sevin Dust is kind of mild compared to some other stuff, but it's still a pesticide. It's still, we wash our stuff really good before we, that if you watch any of my videos. But it still does, because if we didn't, they'd be eat up by those pumpkin bugs. You know what I'm saying? Them squash bugs. Yeah, them little devils. They'll eat your plants right up. And so, I tell them. And then if they want them, they will get them. And if they don't, they won't. It's just the way it is. We didn't put anything on our tomatoes last year. But sometimes we'll have to do that. But me and Tim were out there picking them tobacco worms off the things left and right. I'm not kidding. Them's the little devils too. So anyway, it's just, all in what you want to do. I still say even if you put Sevin Dust on, it's better than what you get from us. That's just my opinion. I don't know that to be factual, but it is my opinion, and I have a right to my opinion. So, right? Everybody does. Everybody has their own opinion about stuff like that, and you can show them all the science or all the truth you want, but still, all in all, you do what you want to do, and it's okay. It's okay. So, so try to grow some food this year. I think we're going to need it, and that's what I was telling you in the beginning, that President Trump has warned us. It's going to be tough. And it should be. It probably is going to be, because he's trying to get us out of a deficit, out of a hole that we're about to be buried in. You know what I'm saying? So I would expect it to be hard for a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay. We got to hunker down. We got to, price of stuff's probably going to go up, because he put these tariffs on China and Canada and Mexico, and we get stuff from all three of them countries, but it's okay. It's okay. I would love, and maybe y'all will disagree with me, but I like buying stuff from Amazon. Don't get me wrong. because it's cheap. But I would love to put my money into our own country. I would like for us to be able to go into the store and buy made in USA products again. And we haven't got to do that in a long time. Okay, let's just face it. When we see like all of my cast iron, except for a few pieces that are antiques like Wagner's and Griswold's and stuff, but all of our cast iron, most of it is Lodge. Most of ours is Lodge. Why? Because it's made in USA. Mm-hmm. And there's just certain things that we get, but not very much. There's not very much that you can buy made in the US. Anything you go to Walmart is mostly comes from China. And I'm not being disrespectful or not thankful for anything. It's not that at all. It's just, I live in the United States of America, and I would like to get my stuff from the United States of America. I mean, it just makes sense. Bring our jobs back here. How about that? That'd be great. Then we wouldn't have a problem with people being, without a job or anything, right? So that's that. I'm going to end on that note. I don't know how long I've been on here. Hopefully not a whole long time. But it's just some thoughts I had and some stuff I'm like, I need to talk to them about that. So there you have it. I'm going to get this corn out. I'm just going to show you how much corn I got real quick. And y'all can do this. This was three or four rolls, and y'all have seen our garden of corn. Okay, so let me, you see my bag. These are my bread bags hanging back there in the background. I forgot to take them down. This whole side is full of corn, and I got to set it out. So I'm going to lay this out and get busy on that. And I'll do a video probably on next week of, we're going to can this corn. We're going to can it. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here while I got this open. I'm going to drag everything out. I'm going to get the rest of this corn out of here and get it thawed out so I can cut it off the cob. And then most of the time I'll do cream corn and whole corn, just regular corn. But this time I'm just going to do regular corn, not cream corn. So come back and watch that video. And I'll get off here. Y'all have a blessed day. So I love y'all, and Lord willing, I will see you on the next video.